Well, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Landmark. I think this is episode 5. Is that right? We're on 5. Anyway, who's counting? We're going to talk about the March to Open Beta. Hello,
Holy
everybody.
crap! My head's big.
We're live. Hello, everybody. Oh, I can hear myself. Boy, wait. I think this is episode 5. There we go. All right. Yeah. All right. Now that that's all taken care of. Wow. So, oh my goodness, guys. Who has read the blueprint? In the blueprint, we discern that looks like open beta is looking like mid-April-ish. And we just want to talk about that, see what you guys think. We've certainly got some ideas, some opinions about stuff. So, want to talk about it.
Quite.
Quite. Hello, everybody. So, anyway, wow. So Devlin has started a new job. He's been busy. It's good, man.
I'm just gonna hold my mic in my lap and back off. My head looks too big on screen. Okay.
There you go. All right. Wow. So
sorry.
It's Tenma. It's like all Tenma.
I gotta zoom back way back here. Okay.
All right. I dropped in chat the link to the blueprint, and this is by Terry, by Farrain. Or Farron, rather. Excuse me. So in looking at the blueprint, there are a lot of cool things that are up and coming on the blueprint list, and these are things that they have to be in for the game to go to open beta. And I think some of this list is, I think it's doable. I think a little bit's aggressive. I'm very up with that. I'm glad that they are focusing on bugs. Guys, any thoughts on the bug attacks that they're doing?
Well, my opinion is that, that the way the blueprint reads is that we got the update that just came out, right? And then we have a TBD, to be determined, update number 1, and then to be determined update number 2, aiming for 2 to 3 weeks after the previous update, and that would be the first to be determined update, which is likely, it says, going to be either on the 18th or the 25th of this month. So we're looking at update TBD number 2 somewhere in mid to late April, from what I'm gathering from this. Shut up! I don't know who you are. And
alrighty.
I'm guessing that if what we're guessing is true and open beta is on its way, that they're attacking the bugs and fixing them, because they know that if they release the game, like actually release it in its current state, it won't work.
You've only got one shot at a first impression. Everybody knows that, and with potentially tens of thousands of people, new people, getting to experience Landmark for the first time as this thing hypes up into open beta. Man, wow! I'd hate to see a flood of people come in and then disappear after 2 weeks, which is what happened with the alpha.
Which, at the rate we're going right now, that's what's going to happen this time. Because there's too many small things that needs to be in the game before it goes out to open, in my opinion.
All right. So on that note, what are some things that you think need to be in the game that aren't in the game, that not only need to be in but need to be well tested, broken, and fixed several times?
Well, we got the rays in the sky, the magic rays, that still have to be resolved. We still have some minor tweaking to do to the way the tools are interacting. They fixed them for the most part, but there are still some small little bugs, like where the selection tool kind of jumps into another area when you really didn't want it to. I still say the hot bar needs to be able to be expanded into multi-tier. The ability to actually have your templates set up on your hot bar. More guild functionality and is a definite. We need more guild functionality.
You know what's on that note right there, guild functionality. You know something that would be really valuable for me, and I know you feel the same way, is a date of when the person last logged in.
Yep, that is a definite.
Since we've got a cap on guild size.
I mean, when I say guild functionality, I mean not only the whole login time. I'm talking about everything that would involve a guild to come together to do things. A guild claim of some sort, a guild island that you could, come together and somehow be able to get one of those islands or something just for your guild. And that way other people can come to that guild's island. It could be, I don't know, maybe a fraction of the size of a standard island. And you could probably have, I don't know, probably about 8 or 9 guild mini islands on one like server or whatever. I don't know how they would set it up.
Well, if anyone's played EverQuest, you know that you have a guild hall that you can place down in one of the neighborhoods, and inside that guild hall, you add all kinds of functionality that affects everybody in the guild when they're out playing out in the world, running around doing their stuff. And there's even some housing included in that guild hall, offices, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think I agree, Matt. I think we do need something like that sooner than later. I'd love to see it before open beta, but
I'm not sure if this is a matter of opinion on my end of it, but Cole just said in chat about having guild voice, and I thought, well, that could be worked around by having party chat, which we already have, but then I thought about we can only have 4 people to a party. I think that also needs to be addressed. That's just not enough. I mean, that's not even a prime number.
For EverQuest Next, yeah, that's fine. But in this game, when you're out doing, you're trying to get as many people together as possible.
Yeah.
And you could have a 4-man party. It could be something like Final Fantasy had, where you had, like 5-man parties, but you can link parties. So it'd be party over party over party, and that formed a group. So party forms groups, and that's something that could possibly be set up. The ability to teleport to a guild member, that's something that it's ridiculous. You can have them on your friends list.
On a separate cooldown timer from teleporting to a friend, right?
Yeah. Well, it should be the same as teleporting to a friend, honestly. I mean, it's not that long anyway. But the way they've got it set up right now, I have to have that person on my friends list to be able to teleport to them, even though they're in my group, my guild. And it really doesn't make any sense. I mean,
didn't they also say, I remember a video from SOE 14 about the mobs and everything. Wasn't there like a different kind of mob, like a ghost mob or something like that? The only reason I bring it up is because I think because the reason why they said they wanted to try to slow down how we get around in the world, which has indeed worked. I mean, we can't move around nearly as quickly. I mean, we can still move from point A to point B well, but we can't teleport as often as we used to. I think that if they want us to explore the land of Landmark, and they want us to be able to move around in game basically on foot as much as possible or without teleporting, I think they need to add in more mobs, give us more to do there. Besides that, there's other mobs there that they haven't implemented into the game yet.
Well, I can understand the teleporting and all that kind of stuff, or just walking around to see new places and stuff like that. But you're more likely to see more places if you put in the ley line system on the top surface, which I'm assuming that's going to be in on open. They don't want to put it
system. I forgot about that.
They don't want to put it up on top just yet because they may put it right on smack on somebody's claim. So they're going to probably wait until the
and I'm good with that.
The total white to
the
do
new
that.
islands come out.
Yeah.
And didn't Terry say the new islands are done pretty much? Didn't he say that during Landmark Live? Or am I remembering it correct?
Excuse me. From what I understand, the islands are going to be bigger. There's going to be a lot more flat land, thankfully. You know, some people like building up on top of a mountain. Don't worry, you're still going to have mountains that you can get up on and all that kind of good stuff. But they did say that us that have been around for quite some time, we like our flat land probably better than we like our mountains.
If you like building and you like building big, especially if you're going for a township or a village or the big guild community type thing, yeah, we need a lot more flat, wide open space. Not perfectly flat, but just open space.
Which I think that would come with a bigger island anyway. You know, you give a bigger island and it would stretch what would normally be there out wider, so you end up having flatter land across it.
And we're getting more diversity in the islands too, right? I mean, aren't we getting because right now all the topography of the islands is exactly the same minus the museum foundation islands, right? It's all the same island, just painted differently.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Well, no, they're different. The topology is different on the islands we currently have. Oh yeah.
The islands are different.
Oh, they're very.
Sorry.
Topographical
map
is
the same.
No. Well, the Abyss is the same island across all the servers.
Yes.
Right.
But topographically, very different because there's very few islands that have lots of nice, flat, wide open space at the spire. Very few.
Okay. Yeah. No. You're okay.
So
that might be intentional too to kind of ward off people from putting their claim right next to the spire. So I'm trying to think of I know we're getting large humans in the next one.
So I'm looking at the blueprint here. So I'm seeing what will likely be the last update. Yeah, the last update of the closed beta says more achievements, an achievement polish, a prop palette, where props will no longer be crafted or take up inventory space in most cases. There will still be a few that need to be crafted or obtained in other ways, like chests and trophies, etc. More building improvements, claim upkeep changes. That's going to be big. Devlin and I were talking about that earlier. New user experience changes, and that, wow, that's huge. This gets into building. So for all those tuning in, if there's anybody new that maybe doesn't recognize any of us, because we're broadcasting on Twitch's gaming talk shows channel, we are talking about Landmark the game, and we're all in Landmark. We've been playing for quite a considerable amount of time. Tenma and I've been in since the very beginning of the alpha, and Devlin joined us in, was it June or July?
Somewhere around there, June,
okay.
July.
Yeah. So
I'm just here to look pretty.
Indeed. The new user experience is really going to be important, because when people come in to build, Tenma builds, Devlin builds, I do a little bit of building. Mostly I like to get around and socialize and look at people's claims and see what's going on out there in the world of Landmark. And Devlin joins me on most of those adventures. But I think the new user interface is going to be really, really important. That has got to be really polished.
It's got to be intuitive. It's got to be very intuitive.
Yes, that's the key word right there, intuitive. Good, very good indeed.
Having one chance at that first impression, we want to retain people in the game longer than that 2 weeks that we experienced in alpha, and it was a little longer in closed beta. It was about a month and a half in closed beta that we had large numbers of people that stayed in.
Nodwinkle said I eat goats.
I built boats.
Damn you, Nodwinkle!
So what I'm thinking is, as far as like the new user experience goes, we talked about this briefly during one of the other shows, because right now there is no new user experience. It's really not. You get that new video. Yeah, I mean you get the video of Dave. You can't skip through. It tells you what's going on, and then they kick you off the deep end, and it's sink or swim. I mean, that's it. There is no gray area there. I think they need to have some kind of something or another in there.
Well,
yes.
you hit L in the game, and it pulls up the list of crafting stations, and there's recipe lists, all the different things you can make. And in that interface, you can look at the different. They have pictures of the different materials, as you'll see on the surface, the different types of trees. So that's.
Here's the problem with that. I didn't know about that.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Because the game doesn't tell you. It does not tell you that.
And these are UI. These are UI things. When you get to an intuitive UI, really, this is stuff that it's going to have a lot of polish before it goes into open beta.
Well, before I had mentioned something about having like a NPC at each one of the portal spires, like a merchant or somebody. Just a guy stands there. You can go there and get information from him. I mean, via chat windows or like an RPG, select a chat system, however it is you want to do it. But that way you can find out information that you need to know if you don't already know it. And there's bound to be things going in that even experienced players like us don't know.
Here's how I envision that. I'd love to see them like hire Billy Connolly. We got proximity chat inside the game, proximity voice. So new players walking around, of course. Oi, you!
Who's Billy Connolly?
You knew.
It's an Irish, Scottish.
Scottish, yeah, Scottish comedian
guy.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, they really know that's spot. I love that. You know, we need that. We need these NPCs. I'd love to see that start coming, but I don't know how they're going to tackle that. But we're certainly full of ideas. So,
and I know. Go ahead. Sorry.
I would rather have Claudia Black. Sorry. And Devlin's going, who's that?
Who's Claudia Black?
She was the dark-haired chick on Farscape.
What's Farscape?
Or the smoothest voice in all of Landmark that I've ever heard is Candela's. Oh my God! Get her to do the voice of the NPCs. Hello. Are you new to Landmark?
The crowd in chat is like turning on you right now, Devlin, because you don't know who Claudia Black is.
All right, hang on.
He's got to look
Google it. Welcome to live television, everybody.
She has got.
Her. Okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah, she's Australian, but she has the smoothest voice, and she does the voiceovers in a lot of video games. A lot of video games.
Okay. Never mind. I'm not as ignorant as everybody thinks I am.
All right. So looking at the
no one is as stupid as I look. All right, go ahead.
Looking at the blueprint, and let me drop this in chat again, just for everybody. If you don't already have it up, feel free to go take a look at it while we talk about it. But if you look at to be determined update, the second to be determined update, aiming for 2 to 3 weeks after the previous to be determined update. The previous being what will probably be the last closed beta update, because this one, TBD2, references new islands. And new islands, as we know, is not happening in the closed beta. So, ergo, we're looking at...
And even that, right after that, there is to be determined update 2. Update will require our only intended character wipe along with claim wipe. If that's not a confirmation that TBD update number 2 is the changeover from closed to open beta, I don't know what else you guys want.
Yeah.
That says it right there.
Now, the blueprint just says what they're aiming for, and I like that these are ambitious goals. And you know what? They are tackling bugs like never before. So now Tenma's got more insights into the building-related bugs and issues. I mean, what are you seeing, man? We started the show with this.
I mean, it's pretty much, falls back to, getting those things that we've been wanting for quite some time, like a putty voxel tool, not a template, not I've got to dig a hole in the ground and create one on spot. I want a tool that has putty voxel.
Where you can change the shape of the tool.
Yes. It's just like, bam, I need a putty voxel for this. Bam, I hit it. Boom. Instead of having to go through all the rigmarole to try to bring one out or to create one or run over to a part of my claim that I've already set it up or something like that, I'd rather have it right on my toolbar and be able to use it.
Well, since you bridge the gap between real people and builders, can you tell us what a putty voxel is?
A putty voxel basically has no data, and when you place it into a airspace in the world or a area in the world, it conforms to the shape that already exists.
Instead of warping it.
Yes.
There you go. And if you're building, you know how important that is.
Yeah. And
it's building games. I mean, flat out.
It's a total game changer. Instead of having to fight with something, you can take a circular shape, and instead of putting voxels around it, which ends up making it look like voxels all the way around, I can put a putty voxel there and it will retain that curvature shape, which is something that is very important when you want something to look clean versus something that looks dirty. So
yeah, I would like to see that come in before open beta. I know it's not on their list here, but
yeah, it's not on the list because
there's a fair amount of programming.
It's like this. No, it's not. We've already got it. It's in game. It's server-generated voxels. Right. So all they have to do is duplicate a server-generated voxel and apply it to a tool. So, I mean, it can't be that difficult. Hell, the server already generates them.
Okay. That's good. So,
yeah.
That's good. One thing I see here that I'm looking forward to is combat iterations. So... now, again, this is being pushed out to the open beta, but that's that TBD number 2. But combat iterations, yeah, combat, the PvP in the game, we were so hopeful for it. And
it needs help, yes, but I'm thinking the more and more that they not tell us about combat, I'm thinking that a lot of the combat updates are going to be pushed more towards whatever Quest Next is happening.
Combat was fun when I could fly and shoot at people.
Yeah, I got an arrow in the back of the head from that one. Right.
Combat was fun. Up 20 million miles high and then coast down on top of somebody's head. And then they took all that away. And I could still jump all high, but I couldn't shoot at nobody in the process. And then it just become mediocre, and then you had a whole bunch of people complaining, well, he's got the jumping boots and I ain't got them, so he's, it's unfair. Well, go out and get them. So
well, we have the ability to turn some of that stuff off and on our combat arenas that we create.
Yeah, well, we do now.
Yeah. But I would love to hear what kind of combat iterations. Give us some details, guys. Next time you get a chance, we'd love to hear a little more about that.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like how the combat works, I know everybody has their own specific opinions about whether or not it should be the way it is right now or a point and click or whatever. I'm not talking about that. The ability to imbue weapons with different aspects and attributes. To be able to take the aspect out of one weapon and put it into another to create a customized weapon. What I mean by that is taking the poison out of the daggers and putting that into a bow to make a poison bow. taking the lightning out of the broadsword and putting it into the now plain daggers to make lightning daggers.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can start. I mean, they said that they want us to be able to make our own classes. I mean, really make our own classes.
Which would be along the lines of the EQ Next, what they were going to be putting in EQ Next anyway. For what they said they were going to be putting in EQ Next.
For anybody out there who is not in Landmark, or you're seeing this for the first time because we're on the Gaming Talk Show channel, Landmark is an MMO focused on building at the core, but there's no classes in this. There's no leveling. It's a completely different change from MMOs of the past. And
it is very much a traditional or modern class leveling system, in that if you want to be a different class, you equip the weapon that makes you that class. It is literally that simple. And
it's fun. You know what? I like it. I like it a lot. I like that there's no leveling, no grinding. That you just do what you want, do what you have fun doing.
And I will say this about combat, and this gets away from the PvP talk of it. I want to see bunnies. Hush, Devlin. Hush, Devlin.
I want to see talking.
I want to see bubbling. I want to see bunnies.
Talking bunnies.
I want to see bunnies. I want to see raccoons. I want to see skunks, deer, whatever you can throw at me. I want it on that surface.
No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Wildlife, like indigenous wildlife, like peace, like just basic wildlife running. Birds, actual birds that are flying. Fish in the seas. Things that make the game feel a little bit more alive. Yeah, you're absolutely. I would even like to see a little bit more original types of animals and things like that. I mean, if this is indeed where EQN and even Landmark itself being a multiple dimensional cross bridge between different dimensions, there's bound to be some kind of animals in there that we, being from a different universe, have never seen before.
Two-headed bunnies.
Two-headed bunnies.
You take those. You probably leave the wisps on the top level, but get rid of the man-eating plants. Put them down in the ground somewhere. And on the top level, that's training area right there. That's tier 1 training area.
It's true.
When you get down to tier 2, it gets a little harder. You get down to tier 3, it gets a little even more harder, and all the way down.
Give us llamas.
Yes, give us llamas, and come up with some really funky creatures for up top. And they have reduced health, they have reduced attack against you, they have reduced drops. If you want better drops, you go in the ground.
That's a good idea. I mean, level 5, the Killer Rabbit of Carabanog, indeed. That's what they need to have in there, yes.
And when you get down to that bottom level, I mean, I want to see giants. I want to see just mammoth beasts, underneath the ground, golems, and just huge monsters under there.
What if, like, on tier 5, you had golems and things like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, huge hulking tree people running around in the forest caves, dude. Imagine going down there, you hear something, and you get one of those big, massive boss mobs down there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we only
groups of people in order to attack.
We only have 5 creatures right now, right? It's 5, right?
Yeah.
If you include the mushroom, which I shouldn't even include at all because that's more of an environmental. It's more of an environmental thing.
Boomy bits, they explode.
Yeah. That's the way I kind of see it. I mean, we need more environmental creatures, something with reduced health up on the top level.
All right. So on this topic, though, do we need to see these creatures added before open beta, at the beginning of open beta, or somewhere into open beta?
You need it on day 1 of open beta.
Okay, I agree with that. I'm good with that.
Like we said before, first impressions are a big deal. And if you really want to immerse that player into this new world, you got to give them something. and wisps and man-eating plants and blowing up mushrooms, and that's the only thing you see on the surface, it ain't enough. I still want to see that claim destroyer.
Claim versus claim.
No,
Yeah, they're talking about
claim.
that right now.
Oh, something that walks around. Oh, yeah, from that video for EverQuest Next.
I can't see chat because I'm back here. So, sorry guys.
No, but yeah, you're right. Something that's what I was talking about underneath the cave, in the caves. I don't know how I feel about it above ground, and I know that as far as like the community goes, people are exactly 50-50 on it. Some people want it, some people don't. But I think underground, having a bit like it, whatever that boss video for EQN was that they showed off, that a big nasty, underground, a big guy.
I have the ultimate solution, but I mean there is no pro and no con with this because everybody will agree with it. You have the monsters. When they come up to your claim, it turns it into like a semi-PvP mode to where the creature can come on the claim, destroy it, and once it walks away, it rebuilds itself just like it does in PvP. You don't lose anything.
I think that would be so much. I think people would enjoy that.
It would
aspect.
just be funny.
It would just be fun. Yeah, just add fun. You gotta keep that fun
Can
element
you imagine?
of the game. Yep.
Can you
What
imagine?
about
It would be the funniest shit in the world. Geo, there's this monster. He's destroying my claim, and he's just weeping and crying, and then he walks off, and it says, "What the?"
Something that walks up
about-
and just takes bites out of your house or your ship, or
What about like a countdown timer? Like if they call these things destroyers, for example, you get a little pop-up window that says there's a destroyer incoming. You have 2 minutes in order to do something about that. And that way you can either consent to take part in that, and if you don't, then it just moves on by.
Nah.
But if you do, no?
No.
No? Okay.
Well,
The Earth.
make it
the Earth-
make it killable though. Make it killable. You get enough players chasing that thing,
make it
smack it
killable, of
down.
course.
Be fun. Fun.
But what if you're in the middle of building and you
Fun.
get something like this
Fun.
happens?
It has a radius, right, around this particular creature, and any character that is within that radius, their screen shakes.
Like that T-Rex from Jurassic Park?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
I like
you
that.
know it's near you. You know it's near you. You know, there's no mistaking that this thing is around you somewhere. Until it disappears, the ground shakes. Now, if enough players get around and they kill it, maybe some really cool loot because you got your group members to come out there and help you kill it. So there's a reason for killing it, but at the same time, I think, I'd go into PvP mode and try to keep you from killing it if it was on the claim. It turns your particular claim into PvP when it gets on it, so that it would allow it to rebuild.
Yeah, well, there you go. Right. As soon as
It's great.
it's done, yeah, it'd be absolutely fun.
I think it would be funny as crap.
I think that simple mechanic right there would keep people entertained for weeks.
Yeah, I mean, have one of those creatures per island, so it may do like a spiral that does like this all the way to the center, and then after it's done, it starts to trek all over again. So it never hits the same claim, within the same amount of time. It may take like 4 days or 5 days for it to complete a complete cycle. Now, if it gets killed, it starts. Well, it can't really do that, can you? Because every time you killed it, if it went right back to the same location, it wouldn't be fun for whoever had their claim right there.
Okay, now hang on. We're getting new islands, right?
Yeah.
What if we had something akin to like a dragon cave, a danger zone on the islands themselves? A hostile environment where these things live. I mean, you can't go there and find like 30 of them or anything like that, but like you said, you end up killing one, that's where the next one's going to come from. That way we, as players, can even build defenses around this thing and just manage to try to keep the population of these things under control. If we kill one or if one gets out, then it becomes a problem.
Well, the
Now
dev,
it's like,
the
okay,
dev team,
now there's one out, everybody. Now we have to do something about that. We have to go hunt this thing down.
the dev team folks that Tinma and I talked to at SOE Live love the idea of siege combat. So at some point, we're going to see this in the game. You know, we don't know when. That's probably far down the road, some point before live, but well into open beta, I would think. But I want to shift gears here a little bit, guys, and talk about something that's been a hot button for a lot of us, and that is, do we need this before open beta, or can it wait till the beginning of open beta? That is claim vendors.
I could see that after open beta because I don't see the major importance of it right off the get-go. Right off the get-go, I don't see where it's that important because most people are going to be out there grinding for like the first week anyway.
Well, do you want to see the game loop completed before this goes into open beta? That's really the $64,000 question.
Okay, now the $64,000 question is claim vendors with or without the economy system in place.
Oh, with the economy system in place.
That's the real
Exactly.
that's the real question there. I mean, that's what you're really asking is whether or not we want the economy system in place or not. I'm kind of with Tinma. I don't see the point in it right now. I just really don't. I think it's a good idea. I think we need to have it, but right now, no.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing the benefit of it. I mean, I'm really not seeing the benefit of it. Yeah, I can throw some templates up there and people can purchase them, or I can throw some extra of my junk that fills up my 100 slots right now. You know, I'm just not. You know, that's all I see a claim vendor for. And then you have to actually have somebody come to your claim to actually purchase off of it. You know, how many times? I mean, how often? Unless you call somebody, hey, come check out my stuff. You know, how many people actually come to your claim? You know, it's.
How about claim? How about a not a claim vendor, but a vendor at the spires?
That would be good for people that have not had the like built up their claim in order to get a claim vendor, like Terraria, where you can build a room, and as long as the room meets the requirements for that merchant to move in.
Yeah.
Now you can have one at the spires, and that way, I mean, your idea and my idea could even cross. You could have a merchant right there at the spires that you can interact with, give you pointers, you can buy stuff from him. But if you have enough. Whatever the prerequisites are, you can have someone move into your house or just chill out around your house and work as your merchant. And I've heard people ask, you know, how would people find what the which claims have merchants on them? Very simple. We have a blue box right now for friendly claims, a red box for non-friendly claims. Make a green box for where you can buy stuff around your areas. Simple. Right there on the map, that one's green. I know I can buy stuff from that one.
Well, the PvP ones used to have the little cross swords on the claims, and you could look at the map and see all the little cross swords.
Yeah, put a dollar sign. Put a dollar sign.
Yeah,
money.
dollar sign.
Indeed.
There you go.
But
Hire this guy.
I still say take all those starter templates, get them out of my templates. I don't want to see them. Put them in that vendor, and then people buy them for like whatever the currency is, you know, the crystals or whatever. Once you get enough crystals, you buy a template. You buy the template you want. That way I ain't putting all that junk into my my template storage. You know.
So you guys think that the economy part of this can wait until it goes to open beta? Now,
why I'm saying that is because right now we have kind of a almost everybody in the game knows everybody in the game. I mean, it's not nearly that simple. The game still has quite a few thousand people in it at this point. I'm willing to say a dozen, if not several dozen thousand people. But that number is going to easily double. Easily double. And with more players, we have a better economy system in place. Simple as that. More sources of income, more sources of outcome, better economy. Better economy system all the way around. Let it wait till we get more people.
So, but you guys agree that this needs to be in place day one of the open beta?
The economy system? I would say yes, but I would like to see what the first iteration of it is. And if it's something that we have our reservations about, then we can say, hey, look, this needs to be changed somehow before you put these vendors in. That's the way I kind of look at it. I like to see how the whole monetary system is set up first before we start putting in vendors everywhere. Now, if have some other way of spending, those in-game things or whatever, we can trade them between each other for whatever reason. Trading items. If I wanted to get a particular recipe from say Devlin or whatever, I could give him X number of like Cracker Jacks or whatever it is that we're going to be using as a. I love them things, man. Cracker Jacks are awesome. And
flashback.
But it's just to get whatever recipe. Say Devlin has a recipe I don't have. I could give him my Cracker Jacks little toy or whatever to get to get the recipe that I'm looking for. And then later on, give us the vendors after. It'll be a bonus.
I've been watching chat. I'm gonna switch gears again a little bit here. And Corinne just said something. Once they have all the pieces and are ready, as far as like, let's see here, Aliana. I guess we're talking about the economy system, but just taking what Corinne just said, as soon as they have all the pieces in place, they're going to start optimizing. That's what the blueprint specifically states they're already working on. I mean, they've been working on optimizations left and right. And they've even said as much that there is things that they have done and completed that they have not shown us yet, that they are specifically waiting for open beta to happen. We don't know how much is even under the hood at this point. The rest of the game theoretically could be done by now. They're just waiting to release it. And when I say done, I mean ready to go, not ready for testing. I mean done. They've had enough time to do everything they possibly can on it at this point.
And that scares me, though.
Why?
It really scares me is because every time we get a patch, we get an update, bugs come right in.
Well, remember what I said on your show as well, Tenma. I mean, that's gotten to the point now where the industry itself, release dates are not what they used to be. It used to be, oh boy, there's a video game now. Now it's, oh boy, I wonder what kind of bugs are going to be in this video game, and then I can play it in maybe at about a week. It's just the way it works now. We have to expect bugs. We have to expect the game's going to work.
Well, I understand that. I understand that. What gets me is everybody that's here and is playing right now, 9 times out of 10, we've been here for quite some time. We know what to look for. We know what to expect, and we know who to direct it to, for the most part, at least. And utilizing us within that 1 week period prior to open, just a 1 week period, we can help solve some of those bugs prior to the actual release date. I mean, what happens if you put in this new biome and all of a sudden, I don't know, a prop for some reason sits there and spins? I don't know, for no apparent reason, like a tree. There's no
I'd put 9 of them right in my front yard. That's what I would do.
Well, they got to fix the prop duplication thing. They'll have to. They got to fix that before open beta.
That won't be needed. You won't even have to worry about that with the new prop system. As long as you got materials, it's going to keep making them.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm serious. Was it TBD #1, second one down?
Well, I don't know. While I'm inclined to agree that we need to test, I can see the argument being made, and it's a decent argument to be made. I mean, even Miguel in chat right there just said something about, yes, we need to test open beta before it goes to open beta. One could say that's what we've been doing this entire time. It could be argued. I mean, we have been playing the game. We bought in order to play the game. We've been testing things so that everybody else who doesn't want to do that can come in and just enjoy it. That's why we are here. So
okay, I give you an example here. This last patch that we had, they said they had been testing it on the internal servers for over a week.
And
How many bugs?
Yeah.
How many bugs? How many bugs presented themselves on day of patch, and then we had to wait for a hot fix for many people to even be able to get in the game and play.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier about, I mean, we're going to have to expect bugs. There is always going to be more players than there are developers, more different kinds of system configurations. There are things that they just simply cannot predict. I'm sure they're not releasing things broken. I can name a few developers. I'm certain that they are releasing things broken. But I'm sure that once they test these things out, they think everything's working, and then most of the time they're like, I didn't even know that thing was there. I think that they're finding bugs as we're finding bugs once we get more people playing them at the same time. So there's no way to really say that they can't do that.
You got 3,000 testers, baby. Woo!
All right, so guys, how many people do you think are going to show up for the open beta, and why?
A lot of people are going to return. I'd say a good 25% of returners will be back. And then I'd say the other 75% will be new players just because they didn't want to buy it in the first place the first time. So I think we'll get a good 8,000 people, if not more.
I was going to say somewhere around 10,000.
Did you guys ever hear the numbers for people who bought into the alpha? The number of founders packs. Now, I heard several numbers getting kicked around, but I heard it was in the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
So that being the case,
and where are all of you?
Well, look, after the first couple of weeks, were
3 of those are mine.
and then the beginning of closed beta was, people came in and they played for many of them up to 6 weeks, and then the game was still such a raw state that they wanted off, and they figured, I'll come back when this thing goes to open beta. That simple. So my prediction, we'll see. We'll see if this bears out, but I think there's going to be 30,000 to 40,000 people. New people.
I hope so.
New people.
I hope so.
People that have never tried the game. This highly dependent upon how they market and promote. Highly dependent. And highly dependent on the number of people that are streaming anything related to Landmark. Currently, it's not a lot of people. But we saw, was it on Friday? When
that's because some of us had to go back to work.
The one night I broadcast late. I did the late night Landmark. There were somewhere between a half dozen and a dozen people streaming Landmark on that was Thursday or Friday night. Really, so I'm glad to see that those numbers are starting to increase. And so when this thing goes to open beta, I think you're going to see a huge change. And I bet there are going to be people like maybe Co-Carnage and a lot of other very, very well-known streamers are going to come back and give Landmark a second go-around when it goes to open beta, because it's going to be new and people are going to want to see it for at least a little while, for a few weeks. So my guess is 30 to 40,000.
I ain't got no use for them people that come and then leave and then come and then leave, and they only come back when they're out for subs.
Oh, you're talking about streamers?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got no love for you. You can go F off.
Well, these people are streaming, as their full-time
Will it come and go only as long as they can benefit from it?
Well, I think if they make the experience for open beta sticky, make it sticky. Great achievement system. Got the economy. Sticky.
You say come and go. Come and go. It's sticky within like 2 sentences of each other. It was just wrong, man.
Welcome to live television, everybody.
Okay.
I'm Rob Winkle.
I kept it clean. There are many words I could have said.
Oh my God. Killing me. But seriously, there's got to be things in the game that are going to keep people here. They're going to keep them.
Yep.
That are achievement. They really need to flesh out the achievement. You look at the last update for the closed beta. They talk about more achievements and achievement polish. That's good. That's good.
You're gonna need a lot of achievements because I burnt through that little 101 like that.
I am not an achievement supporter.
Yeah.
I am not, but that's just me.
But there's a lot of players that are. They're going to come in and that's going to keep them engaged.
I understand that people want the achievements there, but I can't comment
on it. They're not going to stay engaged if there's a lot of bugs and if the new user experience is not smooth. So my vote, number one thing for the open beta that I'd like to see them work on is the new user experience. I don't care if they push some of the other stuff out, but that's got to be spot on. When people get in, the bugs, no major bugs. They got to fix the screen glitch, this flashing screen spiky thingy.
For those of y'all that were around during the H1Z1 launch for their alpha, okay?
How many hours did we sit trying to get on the server, Devlin? 5?
10.
10, okay.
10. I spent 10 hours before I gave up.
All I can say is I really hope that does not happen with Landmark's kickoff.
Yeah.
And hopefully the EU servers will be up.
Well, now remember, everybody who buys a Trailblazer pack, Founders Pack, gets 2-day early access into the open beta. All right? So remember that. And so if you love the game and you don't have that Trailblazer pack and you want to get that early access to go find a place to build and beat the rush, throw down the dollars. And you get some cool tchotchkes to go with it.
That way we all can, those of us in here can see what the new biomes are going to be. We get first grabs. We get first dibs.
Yeah.
I'm going to find the flattest piece of land within the first like 30 seconds. And bam, it's mine. It's exactly how it's going to happen because anything around the spire or the hubs or the ley lines, you ain't going to find their land out there.
Do we have a word on how many islands we're going to have?
I don't think so. I don't think they said anything
servers. We got 50 islands per server now and 9 servers, so there's 450 little worlds to go build on. I wonder what
I don't think that's going to be enough. I seriously think they're going to have to drop in 2 more major servers.
With 9 islands each? That many more islands? That much more land? I think you're right. I'm just saying, yeah.
At least 2 more major servers with 50 islands apiece.
So I'm curious. That would be love to get a feel for that. But you know what? That might have to be the surprise. Got to wait till open beta to find out.
So, devil's advocate question.
J-Hacks. Dang you.
Devil's advocate question.
All right.
Is it time for open beta? Simple. Now that it's here, now that everybody has been saying, "Oh my God, we want it, we want it, we want it, we want it." Now that we almost have it, now I see a lot of people kind of going, "I don't know yet."
I've been number one. I've wanted open beta to come. Really,
I haven't.
Freight train. I want it now, but look. There's a couple of things. That new user experience. That's got to be smooth. It's got to be polished. So take your time, guys. Do that. Get that new user experience right, and I think the rest of it will be fine. But you got to nail that one down, because one chance at a first impression.
Well, I mean, when we came out of alpha going into beta, we weren't ready.
But they'd set that date in stone. So they set that date in stone, and they kind of screwed themselves on that one. And we weren't ready for alpha, or coming out of alpha going into beta. The game definitely was not ready. And I hope that's not the case with this time, where they're pushing it too fast. I would rather see them push it back to June the 1st or July the 1st, and really take the next month or two here and get it perfect. Get it right, as close as you possibly can, and then release it. And that way you got the best possible outcome for those new people that are coming in, and they are just mind-boggled at how awesome the game is, than to rush it and push it out in like 2 or 3 weeks, and crap's still broken. We still got rays up in the sky that we don't know where the hell they come from. We happened today on our show.
Yeah, exactly. And the little bugs like that, every little thing that is annoying, people will pick up on it, and it will annoy the crap out of them every time it happens.
Which is why I don't think I think that they know if they release open beta soonish, the game will get torn apart. Critics and everybody.
Critics will destroy this game when it goes live.
Yeah, go look at Steam. Look at the comments on Steam. That's a perfect example.
Dear Lord.
Go to H1Z1s and look at that ones when they came into alpha. They destroyed that game on the forums.
Yeah, but it's still bringing in the numbers on Twitch. So
honestly,
bringing the numbers, but not the numbers they could have had.
No, but I think honestly, if they are really marching this close towards open beta, it's a vague kind of travel destination off in the distance.
Yeah.
If we can see it over the nice little green hills. If we can see the Emerald City of Oz, it is time for them to start giving us the open beta stuff bit by bit so that we can test it. But they gave us the deciduous biome props. We know that the props are okay. I'm not saying give us the biome, because I mean it's a piece of land. It should be fairly easy to figure that out. Yes, Denman.
We do not have volcanoes.
No,
I want to test the volcanoes.
That's what I'm talking about.
I want to make sure that they roast my chicken very well. After I choke it.
On that note, everybody. Oh my God. Thank God I can edit. We've got a wrap. I got a hard stop. I got to go pick up my kids. Everybody, thank you for tuning in today. Good talk, man. Think about it. When the Landmark Live comes out this Wednesday, have some questions ready, or your comments, or if you've thought about what we've discussed here, you got a number one thing or goal or hope, push that a little bit. Mine is the new user experience. Guys,
tell them your concerns. Also, keep up with Domino, because she's been hard at it trying to collect all the bugs and the issues and trying to actually get those things addressed. So in the case that they do push it, even though I don't think they should, help them as much as you possibly can.
Indeed. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Gio.
He's Gio. I am Devlin.
Introduce yourself, guys.
I am Devlin.
And I am Timma.
And Pantera, who's normally with us, is under the influence of painkillers. He nearly cut his finger off, so...
And I've been up all night long.
Oh my God.
Building.
Maniac. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tonight, and stay tuned. Go out there and build something. We'll come look at it. Be good, everybody. Cheers.